I've been driving trucks for over 20 years. So I've seen it all. Empty stretches of road at night, weird wildlife crossing at the wrong moment, and a few near-miss accidents. But nothing prepared me for what I encountered on Route 47. It was a typical late-night haul, driving down a two-lane highway in the middle of nowhere. The road was long, quiet, and completely empty. It's the kind of stretch where the monotony can play tricks on your mind, but I wasn't tired. Not yet. The clock on the dash read just past 2 a.m. when I first saw her. At first, it was just a flicker at the edge of my headlights, something pale, out of place. A woman, standing by the side of the road. I slowed down, thinking she might need help. You don't just leave someone stranded out there. As I got closer, I noticed she wasn't waving or signaling for help. She just stood there, staring straight ahead, her long white dress fluttering in the breeze. Her face was turned away from me, shadowed by her long dark hair, so I couldn't make out her features. I rolled down my window as I pulled up beside her. "Hey, you okay? Need a ride?" I called out. No response. She didn't move. Not even a flinch. It was like she didn't hear me at all. That's when I felt it, a sudden, deep chill in the air. The kind that doesn't belong in the middle of a warm summer night. My gut told me something wasn't right, but I couldn't just drive off. What if she was in shock or something? "Ma'am?" I called again. A little louder this time. Still nothing. I hesitated, then put the truck in park and grabbed my flashlight. I stepped out of the cab, the beam cutting through the darkness as I walked toward her. My boots crunched on the gravel, but she didn't turn around, didn't react at all. I was only a few feet away when I stopped. Something wasn't right. She wasn't breathing. She wasn't moving. I lifted the flashlight to get a better look at her face. She had none. I froze. The beam of light passed right through her head, casting a shadow on the trees behind her, but there was no face. No features, just a blank, empty space where a person's face should be. And then, in the blink of an eye, she was gone. Just vanished. Like she had never been there at all. I stood there, heart pounding, staring at the empty space where she had been. The air was still cold, and the road was as quiet as ever. I scrambled back into the truck, slammed the door, and took off down the highway, not caring if I broke the speed limit. I've heard other truckers talk about strange things on the road before, figures in the distance, lights that don't belong, but I always thought they were just stories. Until that night. I didn't stop driving until I reached a truck stop an hour later. After some coffee and a lot of staring out into the night, I asked the guy at the counter if he'd ever heard anything weird about Route 47. He glanced at me, then nodded slowly. "You saw her, didn't you?" I didn't answer, but he continued. "That's the ghost of a woman who died out there years ago. Hit by a truck. They say she still waits by the road, looking for a ride that'll never come." I left that diner without another word and finished the rest of my drive in silence. Even now, every time I drive through a deserted stretch of road, I can't help but keep my eyes on the shoulder, half expecting to see her again. But I pray I never do.